Hey there, welcome to another edition of What's Hot with Sea Tranquility. I am your host, Pete Pardo. Today is Friday, April the 14th. We're getting ready for Easter weekend here, and got a boatload of new releases to go over, so we're going to jump right into it. So, kind of told you the other day on one of the recent rants that we're going to talk about the new Deep Purple album. And we're going to. So, this is their latest. It's called Infinite. Is it going to be their last studio album? Nobody knows for sure. You know, they're going on that kind of the long goodbye tour or whatever they're calling it. Who knows? I mean, Purple have been playing now as a band since the late 60s. You know, practically 50 years together as a band, various incarnations, but, you know, the current lineup of Ian Gillan, Ian Pace, Roger Glover, Steve Morse, and Don Airey, they've been doing it now for well over a decade. Geez, Morse has been in the band over 20 years now. It's hard to believe, but... Anyway, this is their second album with Bob Ezrin sitting in the production chair. You know, they put out an album a few years back called Now What, which was, you know, one of their strongest in years, possibly their best with Morse on guitar, you know, next to Perpendicular, which is a damn fine album. And I gotta say, Infinite continues that success. It's classic Purple, folks. You know, it's pretty damn heavy in spots. There's some really good heavy songs on here. You know, if you love that classic Purple sound with the raging Hammond organ and the crunchy guitar work, and, you know, Ian Gillan's always unique vocals and, you know, kind of whimsical lyrical content and heavy grooves, it's Purple, you know? I mean, you know, check this out here. That's the classic Purple sound, guys. The whole album is like this. I mean, that's a song called Hit Boots. You know, Time for Bedlam is the lead-off track and the single. Great song, dark. But most of these tunes are pretty upbeat and rocking, and I really dig it a lot. All I Got Is You is great. Get Me Out of Here is kick-ass. On Top of the World is great. Birds of Prey. It's really... You got 10 tunes on here. All really strong with the exception of one. That's the last song, which they do a remake of the Doors' classic Roadhouse Blues. I don't really like that too much. I don't think it's a really good cover, and the band just kind of sound like they're, you know, phoning it in. My guess is they probably were messing around with that during rehearsal one day, and they decided to record it and throw it on the album. It sounds it, okay? Because compared to the rest of the album, it just doesn't belong. The rest of the album, 9 tracks, really good. This, you know, I've said this before. The makings of a great album is when you listen to it once and already you remember most of the songs. Instantly memorable. Heavy rock. Classic heavy rock, just like Deep Purple always bring it. I love this. Love it. It's going to be one of my favorites of the year. It's already my favorite album right now, so can't get enough of it. So, Deep Purple, Infinite. Get it. Love it. Okay, next. Mastodon. Okay? You know, one of the most consistent bands of the last, I guess they've been around about a decade now, right? A little longer than that. Their new one is called Emperor of Sand. That's it right there. Sorry for the glare. You know, another concept album. You know, things have been a little, you know, behind the scenes in the Mastodon camp. We've had some, you know, some tragedy going on. You know, people sick with all sorts of ailments and things like that. So, you know, it hasn't been a really happy time for the guys. So they've actually written this album, this concept album about a guy who's, you know, been given like a terminal cancer diagnosis, and he's, you know, out to go find the Grim Reaper or the Emperor of Sand out in the desert and whatnot. So it's a pretty grim lyrical album, but, you know, the music, for the most part, is traditional Mastodon, you know, kind of like their most previous album, which kind of combined that heavy prog thing that they've always done, you know, little bits of extreme metal and the more commercial approach that they showed on The Hunter. Kind of continues here. There's a couple tunes on here that are pretty accessible, you know, like Show Yourself, which is the single. I mean, I've never heard Mastodon do something like that ever. It's basically a modern hard rock tune with hooks galore. You could hear this playing on the radio and MTV videos and all that kind of nonsense back in the day. But, you know, will it piss off some older fans? Possibly. But it's going to get them some new ones. And the good thing is most of the rest of the album is, you know, your typical heavy intricate progressive metal that we've come to know and love from Mastodon. The vocals are great, the drumming is fantastic, guitar work is off the charts. You know, it's just a really good heavy rock album. I really dig it a lot. You know, progressive metal, whatever you want to call it, it's Mastodon. Nobody sounds like them, and they're just cranking out one winner after another. So I dig that a lot. Quite good. Okay, I'm going to switch gears a little bit, go over to Frontiers Records. I love this one. Love this band, always have. Night Ranger, Don't Let Up is the new one. You know, it's typical Night Ranger. But I find that some of the songs on here are just even more memorable. You know, their last couple of new studio albums have also been really, really strong. And this is no exception. You know, Somehow, Some Way is the lead-off track. It's instantly memorable. One of my favorite tunes on the album. You know, the title track, Don't Let Up, is great. Running Out of Time is great. Nothing Left of Yesterday. Jamie, really, really good song. Again, lots of hooks. Twin guitars. You know, Brad Gillis, of course, puts in another sterling performance. And it's just, you know, Jack Blades and company, Kelly Keagy, you know, it's good. Like I said, great hooks. Some heavy stuff, some pop stuff, a few ballads, but, you know, always catchy. So, you know, whatever you call these guys, I don't know, hard rock / pop. It's just good. Great musicianship. Dig it. Very, very good. Okay, we're going to go over to Rise Above Records. You know, most of you know there's been a boatload of great bands coming out of Sweden over the last, you know, few years who are doing that whole kind of retro, hard rock, doom, heavy rock, early metal, whatever you want to call it, right? You know, in the tradition of bands like Black Sabbath and Deep Purple and Led Zeppelin and Humble Pie and Cactus, you know all the greats, right? So another band who came out with a debut album a few years back called Troubled Horse, okay, and also from Sweden, really good band, doing a similar thing. Revolution on Repeat is their latest. This is even better than the debut, folks. If you like Witchcraft, Graveyard, Horizont, bands like that, you're going to love these guys. Really, really strong, powerful vocals. Killer guitar work. You know, again, they obviously studied all the best, you know, Sabbath, Purple, Zeppelin, Humble Pie, Grand Funk Railroad. Little bits of kind of cool twin guitars. Even though there's one guitar player in the band, some cool twin guitar things going on here. Kind of remind you of Wishbone Ash and Thin Lizzy a little bit. But, you know, overall, really, really good. Some of it's doomy. Some is just good classic rock. Just good heavy rock. I dig this a lot. The songs are instantly memorable. The riffs are great. It's just a really good 70s influenced album by this group of Swedish youngsters. Troubled Horse, remember that name. Very, very good. Okay. Here we got an instrumental album on Metal Blade Records. This is the Nova Collective, and Further Side is their latest. This is sort of a supergroup. You know, got guys from a bunch of different bands who have kind of come together to put something that harkens back to the 70s jazz fusion / prog scene. So lots of really intricate guitar and keyboard work, solos and arrangements and great rhythms. Just really, really classy stuff. If you love that 70s fusion sound, you're going to dig this. There's some heavy spots as well, because again, most of the guys in this band come from metal bands. But, you know, just metal, prog, jazz fusion colliding together for a really classic sounding album. Dig this a lot. Nova Collective. Really good. Okay, I'm going to shoot over to a legend, okay, guy who's been around since the early 70s, started his career with the Scorpions, went to join UFO, went solo, went back to UFO, back to Scorpions, went solo. He's done it all over the years. Of course, we're talking about Michael Schenker. This is called the Michael Schenker Fest Live Tokyo International. Right? Did I got that right? Yeah. Anyway, it's a live concert from Tokyo from last year, where Schenker basically got together with a bunch of his old mates in the Michael Schenker group to play classic NSG tunes, as well as a couple of UFO favorites. So you've got, on vocals, you've got Gary Barden and Graham Bonnet and Macaulay, and Robin Macaulay, as well as, you know, Chris Glenn, you know, the whole, and, you know, all his old comrades who are still alive. You know, the exception of Cozy Powell. It would have been nice if he was alive to have him join here. But otherwise, everybody else is here. Ted McKenna is here. Just very, very cool. So, of course, they run through a lot of your classics. And what's cool is they play them kind of in the order of they were originally released. So you've got Gary Barden coming out first, and he sings, Attack of the Mad Axeman, Victim of Illusion, Cry for the Nations, Let Sleeping Dogs Lie, Armed and Ready. And then, Bonnet comes out for Assault Attack, Desert Song and Dancer, and then Macaulay comes out for This Is My Heart, Save Yourself, Love Is Not a Game, and he sticks around for the UFO classic Shoot, Shoot, and Rock Bottom, and then all three of them come out for Doctor, Doctor. Pretty cool. Of course, Schenker is on the top of his game, as always, and it's just really cool. Plus, they throw in some cool instrumentals, a couple MSG instrumentals, as well as Coast to Coast from the Scorpions. Really fun album. So you've got it on Blu-ray and DVD and CD, so Blu-ray's pretty cool. It's got some cool bonus stuff, so a lot of fun. I'm going to go over to the AFM label now here. We've got the latest from Pyogenesis called A Kingdom to Disagree. Right, is that the name of that? A Kingdom to Disappear. Sorry about that. These guys are from Germany. This is a weird album. Kind of a weird band over the years. They started out as somewhat of a doomy / death metal band, and then they started getting into more like gothic type things, and over the last couple of years they've become more like an alternative rock band, and then with this latest one, it's, great artwork and really nice package from AFM. This is kind of like alternative, but they've got some growling death metal vocals and some like power metal passages, and it's all over the place. The one thing I'll give them though, these guys are really good at writing catchy hooks. Honestly, I think they should just get rid of all the extreme metal aspects of their game and just stick to what they do best. And right now, they're good. They got these like this Celtic undertones. They're kind of their best is like an alternative / Celtic band, because that's pretty successful. And a lot of these tunes are actually pretty catchy. But then they throw in these death metal vocals in spots that don't seem to mix. I don't know. So I'm not sure whether I really like this or not. But I can see the appeal, and I think if they streamline their sound a little bit, forget the extreme metal, and just go as a more accessible band, they'll be pretty successful, because I think that's where they excel at. So, again, A Kingdom to Disappear from Pyogenesis, and then we've got another one on the AFM Records roster called Danko Jones. It's called Wildcat. The latest, the trio. Danko's the singer and guitar player. It's decent. This is not really my cup of tea. It's kind of like a mix of like garage punk, alternative rock, classic rock, and a little bit of metal. But it's fun. There's some cool riffs on here, a lot of good grooves. You can totally see the appeal with this band. Danko's Canadian. It's the sound that these guys put out. You could see really catching on, but they've been around for a while. They've had a lot of releases, so maybe they've kind of peaked, but I totally see the appeal of something like this, even though it's something I wouldn't normally listen to. But great grooves, a lot of cool riffs. It's raunchy, it's rocking. If you like that sort of thing, check it out. Okay, our last new one for the day is a very cool and fun little album by a band called Organissimo. They're a trio: drums, Hammond organ, guitar. It's called the Beatles. Okay. It's a tribute to the Beatles. Basically what they do is play instrumental versions of Beatles classics saturated with Hammond organ and cool jazz guitar. It's funky, it's jazzy, it's bluesy, it's all instrumental. I really dig this a lot. It's a lot of fun if you like Hammond B3 oriented music, like that old classic stuff from like Jimmy Smith and whatnot. I think you really dig this a lot. So of course they do Taxman, And I Love Her, All You Need Is Love, Can't Buy Me Love, Dear Prudence, which is great, Come Together, Long and Winding Road, While My Guitar Gently Weeps, a bunch of others. I dig it a lot. It's fun. These are the guys right there. If you dig Beatles and you want to hear like a cool variation on Beatles classics done all instrumental with tons of Hammond organ, this is tasty, classy stuff. Check it out. Okay, with that, we're going to go over to Forgotten Favorites, where we're going to pull out an album from yesteryear, or even more present, that maybe folks have forgot about, maybe didn't really get it to do when it first came out, but for me, it remains a classic and not forgotten in my eyes. So today we're going to go back to 1986, originally released on the Metal Blade label. It's an album by a band called Omen. It's called The Curse. This is great. You know, one of the kind of underrated metal bands in the 80s that kind of, you know, came out and caught a little bit of attention, then before you knew it, they faded away. This is their last album with their classic lineup. It's a good one. So many good tunes on here, you know. Teeth of the Hydra, Eye of the Storm, Holy Martyr, Bounty Hunter. I love Bounty Hunter. It's one of my favorite tunes on here. Just really good, classic 80s metal. Not hair metal, not glam metal, not thrash, although a couple tunes they almost tried to move into the thrash / speed metal area there, but just classic American metal. You know, maybe a little bit influence from the new wave of British heavy metal scene that came a few years before them, but you know, otherwise, you know, hey, if you were listening to like Liege Lord and, you know, Cirith Ungol and you know, all that kind of stuff, you know, Crimson Glory, Fate's Warning, you know, all those great 80s American metal bands that were coming out around that time. You need to listen to Omen if you never did. So, cool cover art too. This is a nice little reissue. It also includes all the tracks from the Nightmare EP. So, Nightmares EP, which is kind of nice. Some live stuff, some covers and things. Really cool. So, yeah, Omen, The Curse. So with that, I will leave you till next time. We've got some rants scheduled over the next couple days. I got some interesting topics I want to kind of spew my venom about. Otherwise, we'll see you in a couple weeks for some additional new releases. Till then, be safe. Check out all this great new stuff. Put it in your Amazon cart. Go over to Discogs, pick it out, or go down to your local record shop if one still exists. Otherwise, you'll see reviews of all this and more on the website at www.ctranquility.org. Visit us frequently here on YouTube. We're on Facebook and we're on Twitter. So until next time, take care. Have a great weekend. Enjoy Easter, and we'll see you next time.